So you all thought this panel started at 11:30, right? Time change stuff going on, or maybe it's the other way around. So thank you for being here. I'm Scott Case. I'm the CEO of the Startup America Partnership. And I'm thrilled to have a great group of venture capitalists, investors here, who are going to help shape and help you think about how you look for venture investment. And we have a bunch of people who are pitching. For those of you who are interested in pitching, once we get through the first, I guess, sort of half a dozen or so people, if you would like to have the opportunity to come up and give a 1-minute pitch, you just get in queue in the back here, and you'll have the opportunity to get feedback from our awesome panelists, which I'm about to introduce. So I'm going to start at the end here, and I'm going to try to make sure that I know it's Harshul from American Express. Sanghi?
Yep.
Harshul Sanghi from Amex Ventures. And then next to him we have Christine Herron from Intel Capital. We have John Soberg from Blumberg Capital. And we have Alex Niehenke, right? Scale Venture Partners. And I think we established, you guys three of you are all based in the Bay Area, right? Are you also in the Bay Area?
Yep.
So all the Bay Area. I have one question for all of you, and then I'm going to ask you each to answer something. So how many people are here not from the Bay Area? Okay.
Whoa.
So
that's great.
Wow. I have heard from all of these people who I've just met by them raising their hands that when you go to Silicon Valley, you can bring a shovel and pry up bricks of gold from the VCs, and that's how you start your company. Is that how it works?
We have an ATM machine in our lobby.
Oh, you just come in and get it. Like, just put your card in and it comes out. Okay, good.
We keep suitcases of cash.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a mafia thing. So what I thought I'd start with you, and we'll go in this order here. So I'll start with you, Alex. Just give us a little bit about Scale Ventures, your background, and then what is the one thing that you absolutely unequivocally despise about a pitch? What do you hate about a pitch? For those of you online, try to pay attention. I will ding you if you do any of the things they tell you. Like right in the middle of your pitch, I'm going to say, didn't you listen? Okay? All right, so Alex, go.
Sure. Scale Venture Partners is about a 10-year-old firm based out of Foster City, just south of San Francisco. We focus on investing in revenue, early-stage technology companies. We do that across 4 areas: software as a service, mobility, infrastructure, and internet. I actually just joined the firm a couple months ago. Before that, I spent 3 years at another venture firm, Carlson Capital. And prior to that, I spent 5 years in investment banking.
Okay, cool.
What I hate about a pitch.
Yeah,
If I tell you to move through something, just move through it. I probably understand it.
Okay, good. John?
John Soberg. So Blumberg Capital is a small early-stage venture fund. We don't necessarily need a company to be in revenue. And we are fairly global in our approach. So we're investing in the U.S., Germany, Israel, all over the U.S. too. So we're not specifically Silicon Valley focused. We're about 60-40 enterprise versus consumer, and my particular areas of interest right now are kind of financial services and transactional business models and the consumer side. My background goes all over the place. I started out in robotics. I've been a serial entrepreneur, had a company that went IPO, have a Wharton MBA, and specialized in marketing there just to make sure I got a little bit of a cross-section.
Cool. And what do you hate about getting a pitch from us?
You know what I hate is everybody always has $1 billion market, but most of them have no idea which part of it is actually addressable by them. And so I would love to see a pitch that actually showed me which part of the market they think they could get.
Awesome. Okay, Christine?
Hi. So work with Intel Capital. Intel Capital is a very large investment group. Collectively, we're in 20 countries. We'll invest $300 to $500 million per year. And very stage agnostic because you have this huge umbrella over what's really 12 different groups that almost act like different funds. I'm with the consumer internet team. So we'll do things that are direct to consumer or infrastructure that supports consumer applications. We're certainly stage agnostic doing seed, so we did ARC seed, Funders Club, things like that. We've also done later stage, so we're in Kabam, Urban Airship. And as far as my background, joined there from First Round Capital a couple of years ago. Been in a couple of different venture funds, and have been on the operating side. So I have the bloody brick scars from beating my head on the wall as well. I did not take my company public. I shut mine down. So I have that experience to share. And I think as far as things that I really don't like or miss, it's like, please, for the love of God, tell me what your company does in the first 90 seconds. Don't make me wait. Don't tease me out.
You're only going to have 60 to pitch, so you better get a lot earlier.
Get
than
in
that.
there.
I'm thinking 9 seconds, guys. Okay? All right, Harshul?
All right, Harshul Sanghi with American Express Ventures. We're the venture capital arm of American Express. We set up a $100 million fund, investing in early to mid-stage companies, $2 to $5 million, typical investment size. The area of focus is digital commerce. That's a pretty broad focus, but it's really about accelerating the future of commerce and about omni-channel commerce and personalized marketing, targeting. My background, been an entrepreneur most of my life, so I've been on the other side, know what it is, get it. What I don't like, it's not what I don't like, but what I'd really like is, when you come and pitch, we are a strategic, venture arm, and what we'd like to know is what do you really want from American Express? How can American Express help you, in your business, right? And of course, consequently, how can you help Amex? Not just the brand and not just the dollars. It's got to be a little bit more than that. And so come with that clear idea and thought. That's helpful.
Awesome. All right, so here's how it's going to work. You guys in the back, there's seats up here. Come put your asses in them. Okay? Come on, let's go. You're on the walls there. You think you might escape at some point? Just come sit. It's okay. There's books on the chairs. Those are just for you to take. They're not to actually hold seats. It was nice that the rest of you figured that out all on your own. There's a couple in the back here, right? All right, so here's how it's going to work. Ned, say hi, Ned.
Hello.
So Ned is going to help introduce each person who's going to pitch. Each person will have 60 seconds. The lovely and talented Chris Roach, who's on our communications team and has produced all of this. So if you get a chance to thank Chris, please thank Chris. He's been hustling, as has his colleague Abby, making all this happen. But Chris is a brutal timer. So he will hold you to 60 seconds, and when he says stop, he means it. And if you don't stop, he'll likely shepherd you off the stage. So you have 60 seconds, and then these guys will give you feedback. I've instructed them to channel their deepest, most inner Simon Cowell, so that you are going to get the most direct, most brutal, most, so don't leave. It's okay, you'll be fine. But to give you really good feedback on this. So we're going to go through, and we'll get as many done as we can. So again, those of you who want to pitch, once you get through the first 6 or 7 companies, feel free to get in line and give your chance to come up here. It's unlikely you'll have the chance to meet with 4 different venture firms all at the same time, all on the same stage, maybe ever in your life. So I would take advantage of it. So Ned, who do we have coming up first?
First up, we have the Missouri Love Company.
All right, let's give it up.
Hi. My name is Aaron Cullers, and this is Josh Thomas, the co-founder. And if you want a prime example of people who were pulled in and out of the hallway to pitch, we are it right here. We are working on a SaaS application that calculates best practices for optimization for a demand generation campaign. We're looking to fit this into an agency model. This would be a service on top of that. So managed services for revenue performance management. Companies in the high-tech space, B2B, things like that. Something that allows them to submit their information, submit their campaigns into our project scorecard, calculate the score, again, with the goal of increasing optimization, whether it's deliverability, whether it's conversion rates, design, you name it.
That was good. All right. How much time was that? 24 seconds left. Wow, okay. So guys, who wants to go first?
Well, I'll ask the first question. I mean, what I didn't get was, are you targeting your service at agencies, or are you targeting it at brands, or are you targeting it at,
So enterprise organizations in the B2B space, we would be the agency model. So not only would this be an application that we would provide, whether it's with a licensing situation or you name it, but we would actually be the agency with this one of the technical products within that.
You'd be the agency.
Correct.
Okay. Other questions?
I had the gut reaction, which apparently was correct. So when you said the word agency, you pushed this button inside me that says you're not venture backable, right? Okay. Because agency models they scale differently. Anything that's got a consulting basis and anything, you scale with bodies of people, and that's typically not how venture is most effectively used. Which isn't to say it couldn't be a great business. I would look at that and say, well, for funding strategy, don't necessarily look at us first. Look at some of the other sources that agencies typically used.
Got it. Great.
Because then you need creatives, and you need all of that.
Yeah.
You need to get brands, and you need to get customers, and you need to get all of that stuff. Makes it a higher mountain to climb.
Yeah. My husband runs an agency, so I've had to give him the tough love, too. I'm like, you're never getting money from anyone, honey. I love you, but... Let me introduce all these nice bankers I know.
Great.
So.
I had trouble that I don't think you articulated your value proposition that clearly in the pitch. I think you gave a good idea of what you do, but okay, so why is it different than other optimization solutions, or why is somebody going to go use this solution versus something else? So that's point one. And then number two, I guess my other gut reaction was that, to me, I think your model might want to go that you sell to the agencies and you have them use your software, because they're already working with all these guys.
Yeah.
Like to try to be a separate agency, I think you're gonna find that that's a tough discussion every single time.
Alex, anything you want to add?
When you pitch, just add a customer example at the end.
Okay.
Make it really simple, tangible.
Yeah, you had plenty of time, right? So that was a good anecdote. So, all right, cool. Well, thank you guys very much. Good job.
Up next, Wine Point.
Wine Point?
Samples?
Yeah.
Come on up. You're all ready? I'm just recovering. Go.
No one wine app goes far enough or does enough to be relevant and valuable to everyone involved in the wine industry. That's consumers, retailers, restaurants, wine bars, suppliers, distributors, wineries. You have to solve real problems that each of these user classes actually have, which WinePoint can do. It has multiple revenue sources that build, but they all build from the consumer, solve real problems for real consumers first, like tell me what wines I'm most likely to enjoy at a particular place. Help me find a way to get past the things that prevent me from knowing which wine I would enjoy, which wine my friend told me I would enjoy, which wine the professionals of my choice have told me I would enjoy, the places where I already frequent would tell me that they would like me to try. I just feel intimidated by all the different directions from which wine information is coming at me and all the choices that I have to share or not share, and I can't figure it out. There's too many wine apps. I'm intimidated. WinePoint can solve all those problems and build into real problems that the industry has.
Okay, time's up. Who wants to take this one? How about you, Christine, since you seem to want samples? So let's go. That'll teach you.
The lady likes her bubbles. I was concerned that you're trying to do something for everyone, which is kind of, the nothing for anyone problem.
Only if you try to do it all at once.
Yeah, well, which was not clear, right, by the way. So,
60
and that might be
seconds
the
is
thing
short.
so maybe I change the pitch to say, we're going to do this, and our hope is that it leads to this broader vision, as versus starting with that, and I'm sitting here thinking you're unfocused. So, and part of it is not so much about the product you build, but more about the distribution. Because if you're doing something that you're trying to get people to download an app, that is very different from going out and building relationships with distributors and vintners, and they're different businesses to build.
Absolutely. I think as it happens, the success that you would have through the consumer produces the information that is valuable to all the other classes. You don't need to pursue it. The point that you have it, they want it.
Then I would pitch this as that former. I wouldn't bundle all that around it.
John?
Yeah, I guess you started out by saying that you could serve everybody, but then the examples that you gave were the consumer examples. So again, the same sort of thing. When Christine said at the beginning, "Tell us what you do," I think it wasn't clear to me exactly what you do for all of these different people.
I'll jump in here. It sounded like you know way too much about that world.
Yeah.
And so you told a story that was very detailed for the world that you live in, but the rest of us don't live in that world. We could be intrigued by it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I found myself sitting there going, I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't know it was a problem. I open a bottle, I drink it. Tastes good, doesn't taste good. That's my wine experience. So I didn't understand what problem you were solving as I sat here thinking about it. Before you go, Alex?
I would echo her point. Just if you're going direct to consumer, distribution, and you didn't touch on that. Also, just as a caveat, and they'll probably, I've been pitched by about 500 people telling me that they're going to figure out the next app to pick out the wine that perfectly matches my dinner. That, for whatever reason, seems to be a really tough problem for technology to solve.
It is. I spent 3 years in a room before we launched our product. I agree.
Cool.
Is there a question that I can answer, or just?
No, I think we're good. Thank you very much. Good job.
Up next, My Open Road.
My Open Road. Thanks. Let's go. Come on up.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The National Highway Safety Administration predicted that in 2010, over 480,000 people were injured in distracted driving-related accidents. That's 3,100 per day, or almost one every 60 seconds. But My Open Road is set out to solve that problem. My Open Road has developed a patent-pending technology that allows us to detect and reward when drivers are utilizing their hands-free systems when they're behind the wheel. We plan to white label market this technology and make it available to the automotive insurance industry, as well as to the automotive manufacturers for use in their own consumer-based applications as a safety feature.
Cool. Very good. All right. So none of you do anything like texting or tweeting while you're driving, right?
Never.
Okay, good.
not.
I wanted to make sure that was clear. Yeah. All right, Alex, any thoughts?
Conceptually, I really like, for all the right reasons, what you're doing. I initially, my gut reaction is just all cars are coming with Bluetooth these days, and so are the tides moving against you?
I guess my biggest question is that, well, competition is probably the biggest one. I've seen a couple of pictures of people that either can, shut off the cell phone so that you can't use different features and things like that. The insurance piece is another one that I think. So I'm like the competitive advantage is a question to me.
Yeah. And are you more about the technology, or are you more about the relationships with the insurance? Like, is it more? Are you more going to enforce the technology, or more encourage with the insurance relationship?
It's the encouraging people to be rewarded in a positive reinforcement manner, and we've talked with a couple of insurance companies who have very strong interest in the product already.
I mean, there's a lot of apps in that space that try to, get at, the distracted driving problem. But what I didn't understand was what's the reward and why should I use it? It's really more of, I think, a consumer behavior challenge than it is a technology challenge. And, car manufacturers obviously trying to get at it from a technology angle. So how do you really change the behavior, and how are you rewarding and incenting it? If you can understand that better, that would help.
Well, in one of our insurance situations, if a customer was to drive, say, 500 miles in a week safely, they could go to that insurance company's office, and they would give them 2 free movie tickets for that incentive if they can demonstrate they drove the 500 miles safely. Just as an example.
It'd be good to throw that in.
Yeah, something along those lines as
It would
well.
require another meeting to go into all the details, but here we are.
So doesn't Flo from Progressive already have something like this that you plug into your thing? And isn't that her name, Flo, the crazy lady with the
Progressive Snapshot. And the Progressive Snapshot only monitors your behavior. It does not have the capability of reducing distraction.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for being here. Let's go.
Up next, Click With Me Now.
Click with me now. All right, let's go.
My name is Mark Comiso, and I've got a rodent crew here. Yeah, exactly. What Click With Me Now is a browser-based sharing technology that allows you to share any screen you're looking at instantly in one click and free. Right? We built this technology because it's a challenge that all of us have every day. When we're looking at something online and we have that reaction of, God, I wish I could just share this screen with somebody quickly. All right? It's built as a SaaS model, so we make money from the web properties. We give them the technology, they put it on their site, and that's the way you can click in one click and get to see the screen with somebody else or multiple people. That's it.
Cool. Very good. Click with me now. Thoughts?
Yeah. Is it like a snapshot, or is it screen share?
No, it's actually a very unique technology. It's a patent-pending technology that we have that it's not just sharing the URL. It's not just taking splitting the signal. We're actually recreating it instantaneously, and we're only changing when you move on the screen. You actually see how the other person is moving. Their mouse is on your screen, yours is on theirs.
So it is dynamic.
It is dynamic, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't understand how big the problem really is. I mean, yeah, we've all had that thought that I'd like to share it, but, is the other person in front of a computer at that point in time or not? I think, if it's available for mobile, it's probably more exciting than if it's just on that.
Any platform that can show a browser can use it.
Okay. Cool.
My biggest question for you is distribution. So you said that the website would have to do something to make this available. So how do you get to, if I'm going to one website versus another and I can share one and I can't share the other one, that experience is not very good.
Distribution is going to be through some of the channel partners that already exist in the e-commerce channel. They're already in with those people, but and we're also looking down the road at how can we make this ubiquitous.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Plug-in model.
Cool.
I've seen a lot of comparable, not the same, but comparable technologies that got sold into publishers that allow various amounts of sharing and other things really get commoditized over the last few years. So I think about how does your industry evolve, and how do you not get commoditized?
Anything else you guys want to ask or add? All right, very good. Thanks for clicking now.
Up next, Crowd Act.
Crowd Act, come on up. Let's give it up. Wake up, everybody. Come on now.
Hi, I'm the founder of Crowd Act. We just launched a new social media application a couple of days ago at the Spotlight event here. And hopefully I'll convince you that you need this new social media environment. The formula for Crowd Act is Facebook minus you divided by Twitter. So we're all about subjects. So in case of Facebook, it's all about you and your network. So instead of forming networks first and having conversations later, we start with subject. So, and you and I, we don't know each other, but we will be connected intellectually around those subjects and start forming communities around subjects. Anything from politics to sports to books to any common interest. So if you think about existing forums and online conversations, debate sites, they have not evolved much. So they still stayed in their dull format of 10, 15 years ago. So we're basically bringing the bells and whistles of the Pinterest world, the Twitter world, the Facebook world, but it's all about the subject. You start with the subject, build communities around subject.
Okay, cool. Good job.
So how's that different from Wikia?
Well, in our case, what we are doing, we're bridging the gap between the forums, the media, and also we bring the public opinion as well. So you have tools like you can create a popularity chart. And just like stock market, instead of following the monetary value, in this case, you can follow the sentimental value and track the value of a brand or a subject. It could be a book, it could be a person, it could be a social issue. We try to build tools that allows crowds to express their opinions and others to see it clearly what the crowds are thinking about that particular subject.
Okay. Other questions, comments, thoughts?
Any metrics that you can share? Engagement, subscribers.
Basically, we just launched it a couple days ago. Our biggest challenge is start building the community, and to do that, we're going to basically have to embed with the existing media platforms as much as we can.
Is there anything you do for the first user, or is it only interesting once you've got lots of users?
Well, yes. Right now, there are already interesting conversations going on. So we have subjects, so you can log in there. And if you cannot find the topic that interests you, anyone can introduce the subject and then start the conversation. And anything that you share will be embeddable. Currently you can embed the subjects in existing social media, but any object, any photo that you upload, any conversation that you have will be easily embeddable with the existing social media. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, and that's how I like to propagate my message out there.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
Is that your primary plan for customer growth, for building the community? Is the sharing of the subjects?
Well, there are two routes I can go. The grassroots, targeting the right type of people. If you're, for example, the kind of person after reading an online newspaper article, start reading about what others think. You're probably the right kind of person because you're interested in sort of like staying with that subject a little longer, instead of like in Facebook jumping from topic to topic. So in this case, you can stay there. But I think we also need to partner probably with existing media companies where they already have news content. But if my logo can make it under there, that would be my vision. So here's the place you're going to have the conversation. We have the news, and this is the place you have to have conversation. You can have conversation instead of just posting your comments. You can have fuller experience here. So that's the idea.
Yeah. I think the only comment I throw you is, what you're describing is an area littered with many dead bodies of entrepreneurs and wasted cash and like horrific things. We've all tried to do something like that, I'm sure. So I would think very closely about what's really differentiated about the experience and why people would use it, and your customer acquisition model, which were not the things you emphasized just now. Because I know without that, I would be just like, it's going to be too hard.
Yeah, I've been in some communities for over a decade now, like news board type communities, and they're sitting on 1996 legacy software, and you do ask yourself why, but then you realize there's a value in that community, and transporting that community is very hard. And so instead of maybe partnering with media companies, which by the way really scares me, or trying to use the latest social hack to draw a few users out that probably have low engagement, think about who the thought leaders are in those communities and how you could motivate them, because there does tend to be owners in those communities, and if you transport them, they have an audience that they can transport with them.
Smart.
Good idea.
Good. Awesome. Thanks for being here. And then hold on one second, okay? We'll get the next people up. So my buzzword-onometer has been going off through this, like, and you had a visceral reaction when he said social media network something or other, and you were like, oh, great, like yet another.
Facebook minus you divided by Twitter.
So
It's not good for you.
It's too early in the morning for that, I think.
So, there was a few folks who brought up, a lot of, the analytics company that had all that stuff, and how important is it for like, do you hate that? Do you like that they know what they're talking about? Is it industry driven, so it shows that they understand what the trends are? Like, just talk a second about the buzzwords versus sort of authentic, I actually know what I'm talking about, speak in that space. Like, where does that line draw, and what sort of, and I'm teeing up, you had a visceral reaction to it, which was not the one that would be like hanging out after you got off the elevator with somebody.
No.
So just maybe you could start, like, what do you look for in that piece? Because we're trying to help people think differently about how they make these kinds of pitches.
I mean, I think I understand from an entrepreneur's perspective, it's easier to explain to say, I'm the Pinterest for wine, or I'm a Facebook of this or something like that, and describe, your business in terms of another company. But I don't think, then you put yourself in that bucket automatically, okay? And then everybody thinks, oh my God, you have to become like a Facebook in order to be successful. That's like, very, very difficult to do. And then you're a me too. Why wouldn't Facebook do that? Why do I need you? So really, I think, and forget about the buzzwords. Like, I heard one that had, cloud-based, something, the agency one. There was like a lot of buzz in there, SaaS and this and that. And I was like, what the hell do you really do? I didn't get it. So I think, being authentic, describing your business in simple terms is the easiest thing. We're simple people. We'd really like to hear it, get it first time, and that's it.
And you guys want to add?
Yeah, I think, and this is something, so when I used to work at Omidyar Network, which did philanthropic giving as well as venture investments. And so there's this really interesting problem where you sort of have these mission statements out there, and like every freaking pitch you get tries to use as many words as possible from all the mission statements, right? And you're like, okay, so don't create work for me. Like, make it simple for me to understand what you do. And when you throw all that stuff on top, I feel like I'm getting out my shovel and having to clear out all the buzzwords to find out, so he's actually building a platform for community owners to start having better content. Like, is that what it is? I'm not sure exactly. It might have been. That would be helpful.
I mean, I'm going to echo some of the same things.
Yeah.
I think, there's a different, you can tell pretty quickly whether an entrepreneur has the depth in their pitch versus somebody else.
Yeah.
I can't give you specific examples of why, but when you ask a question, that the person has the detailed knowledge of not just what they're doing, but also relative to others in the space. If you can't articulate how you're different from the other people, and pretty clearly and concisely, I think you need some more work.
I think articulating your idea with really simple words that your uncle, who's not so internet savvy, can understand is actually really, really difficult. And so I'd encourage people to think about how to do that, and start there with the entrepreneur, and then allow the dialogue, or start there with the venture capitalist, and then allow the dialogue to evolve.
So a part of it that's important, we'll get the next pitch up here, is also to remember that these guys are hearing 10 pitches a day, 20 pitches a day, like day in, day out, maybe 1,000 a year. So all that buzzword jargony shit isn't actually an effective communications tool, right? Because you got to break through. Just give me it simple, right? Keep it simple and tell me what it is that you do. So as you guys are in queue,
I would tell you one more thing. I think this format, the 60-second format, is really useful. So if you can practice this, because if you can't explain to me your business on the elevator between floors, I'm probably not going to have enough time to learn the whole thing.
Well,
so if you can articulate it in 60 seconds or less, it's very effective.
Well, and how often does it happen? Like in an industry conference, or a Starbucks somewhere, it's like, you're in this. Well, here's what I do, right? Like, what are you up to?
Yep.
And it's a really important format, because you're either hooked and you'll spend 10 minutes talking to them, or you're like, hey, that's really nice. Good luck. Okay, who's next, Ned?
Up next, Daily Dollar.
Daily Dollar.
All right, so how many people are from out of town? Okay. How many people are here on business? Okay, so if you're home business, you have to keep track of these receipts. You need them for your expense reports. We're a direct receipt solution. We send your receipts straight to the cloud. You register your debit or credit card one time, and your receipts are automatically sent to your online account. We have created the technology to make this possible. With cloud-based point-of-sale systems, it is now possible to do this. We're the first company to do it in the United States. We have 5 national partners on board right now to make this happen, to reach 80% of market of where you would shop. We don't go through email, and we don't make you take a picture of your receipt. So we have a team. We've been doing this for 7 months, 100% bootstrapped, 4 years of point-of-sale experience. And we have people that are ready to work for us that we need to hire. So they're an awesome team, and we're here to make this happen. So
awesome.
Daily
Good
Dollar.
job. So I can't remember which one of you works with a big company that has credit cards and business
I know
accounts.
nothing about that.
Was that? Oh, that was you. Why don't you go first?
So a very interesting problem, certainly. Does it need integration with a point of sale?
We do. We're an API endpoint integration. But we provide the receipt level, SKU level details to Amex, which you guys currently don't see.
I get that. I get all the benefits of it. Yeah. The challenge is, how do you do the point of sale integration, and how do you get the distribution? Because, merchants, that's a big, huge space. And today for a lot of national retailers like Nordstrom's and others, you can get e-receipts, right? So you're already getting that for the large ones, and for the small ones, it's a distribution challenge, right? And how do you go about doing that?
So that's why we partner with merchant service providers. We're focused on cloud-based and mobile-based point of sale. We're from Seattle, so familiar with Nordstrom's. So we do integrate with on the back end, but cloud-based and mobile-based with the merchant service providers.
I was going to say, so what's the consumer experience? So I go to your website, I give you my credit card, and do I have to do anything else? It just magically starts happening?
Yep.
Everywhere I shop with it? Or
participating merchants, and you'll know in-store marketing, so you'll know which ones. You can register as many cards as you want. You can also pay with cash, use the mobile app.
So that might be hard when I'm on the road then, because if you have to do it with the participating merchant. So, I have no idea where I'm going to go out to eat when I'm in Austin.
Yep.
I have a few guesses, but there's going to be a bunch of random places that I'm also going to want to have in the cloud. So those places will get missed, or those places get included?
We have worked really hard for our strategy partner to get onboarded about 80% of where you would shop initially. That's just for our launch. So our merchant service providers have been very targeted, specific to different industries, different tier level of merchants, so to make it an easier experience for you.
I think you're going to find this is very tough to monetize if you go the consumer route, which says, all right, I should go the enterprise route. And if you go the enterprise route, you're going to find that a large enterprise versus a medium enterprise versus a small enterprise versus a two-person shop all have very different procedures internally on how to deal with expense management. So the integration with that is going to be very tough.
Good. So, yeah, we do have the enterprise. We're B2B consumer facing, so our revenue does come from the merchants.
Okay. The merchant side. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting. So how much are the merchants willing to pay?
Depends on the tier level. So we're based on revenue. So smaller merchants have different needs. With the national merchants, we're actually focused on merchant chargebacks resolution, which is a huge value proposition that we offer to them.
There are certainly companies that have tried the e-receipts providers. Most of them are having a hard time.
Yep.
And the challenge is not a technology challenge as much as it's as the fellow panelists have said, it's an integration and distribution challenge. Right? It's a very fragmented market space.
No kidding. I call it the Wild West. So.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Daily Dollar.
Up next, Suligan.
Suligan, come on up.
This past summer, I moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas to participate in an accelerator program. I used to work for Hillary Clinton, and honestly, that was the only time I've ever thought of Arkansas. There were so many unknowns, but the most important question that I had was, is there public transportation there? There wasn't, and I didn't find that out until I got there. This experience is not unique. It's extremely hard to find local information in a city where you don't have friends and family, and that's where Suligan comes in. Suligan digitalizes word of mouth. We provide local information with an efficiency, accuracy, and human touch that typical search sites do not, by connecting users to the locals. Since our launch last month, we've been named top 10 apps to download by PC Magazine and currently have 5 angel investors in our pre-seed round, 3 of whom are VCs. We are seeking $500,000 to scale in the next few months. Remember, people are not hooligans, they're Suligans, and we make social search cool again.
All right. Very good.
Very good. Alex? I'm not sure that's the reaction you were looking for. So, John.
Yeah, I had a hard time discerning exactly what value proposition you're trying to deliver. If it's local information, there's a lot of noise in the local information space. So help me understand exactly what your value proposition is.
So we structure local information by our app is city-based, and so you log into the system, you see a live feed of raves and rants in any city, and with Yelp and Google, with Yelp, a lot of the stuff is restaurant-based. But with us, we feel that it can be generally about anything in the city. So you can rant about street closures, you can rave about cheap parking near the convention center, and so it's all in real time. And anytime someone checks in, they're automatically logged into that city, and they can see real-time sentiments.
Are you scraping, or is it all stuff that has to?
It's organic. It's all user-generated.
So it's all directly entered in your system.
Entered in our system. Correct. Yes.
And what's the benefit to a local of using it?
The local we feel like a lot of locals, we are revolutionizing the way people leave reviews and leave little things about what's going on in a city. Yelp tends to deal with extreme situations where it's an extremely good experience and an extremely bad experience. But what about the people in between that just want to, talk about a good product, a good soup, or something little that there's not really a platform.
So do you think you're competing more with Yelp or competing more with TripAdvisor?
We don't believe that. I think we're an indirect competitor because we're not really just for trips or for just reviews. Like college students can use it to find local information when they move to a city. Business people can use it when they travel to new cities or different cities, and it's all in real time. So you can find the most accurate, up-to-date local information, which you don't generally find on Google because there's so much information, and it's a lot of it is out of date and cumbersome to go through.
Do you have any user metrics so far?
Since our launch, we've had over 1,700 users, and we launched in New Orleans during Super Bowl weekend, and so now we're looking to scale across.
Cool. All right, very good. Thanks. So, hey, Ned, just 1 second. So, a couple of things. I want to talk about, and Suligan has pitched, she pitched yesterday as well, really polished. Good or bad?
Too polished.
Yeah.
It was too polished.
Yeah.
It felt like you were doing something you'd rehearsed as versus just sort of speaking, a little more casually about what you did. I mean, I like that you were the polished part got all of your points in. Like you even said how much you were raising, which was great. It's like, wow, she got it all in. But it almost felt like I was leaning back because you were presenting as versus leaning forward because we were having a conversation, and that you really want potential investors to lean forward and feel like they're having a conversation.
And Alex was lost for words, which probably meant that he would just walk away.
Yeah.
But Alex, did you want to comment on what was going through your mind at the time?
You were leaned back really hard.
No, I mean, I think you probably had all the salient points in there, but it just came so fast and so quick and so rehearsed. And I've been in that similar situation as well, where I've really learned my pitch, and then I've actually had to take a step back and break my own pitch to make that conversation more genuine, and that's really, really tough. But I agree with what you said.
Yeah, I think that the key thing, just as a takeaway, is know what are all the things you need to communicate, but figure out how to communicate them in a way that sort of feels authentic to the moment versus like I'm just driving a truck through. So we don't want a video, we want a personal interaction, right? And so as you're thinking about that, I will tell you though, the other end is way worse, like the rambling, I don't really know what I'm doing
that's
one.
Way worse.
That's way worse. I'd much rather have this.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think, you did a good job in articulating it, and it was crisp, it was clear, the points were in. It's a tough crowd to please, as you can see. You're either too rehearsed or you're too much rambling. It's like needed right perfect in the middle.
Yeah.
But I think, this is far better than the rambling, and I think you did a great job in getting it across crisply. I was in the elevator. You
have another conversation.
That's right.
I got it.
Cool.
Actually, and I think this is good, pitching for dummies trick is like, let's say you had let's say that was 6 slides worth of messages, right? So take your slide deck, reshuffle it so it's in a totally different order that makes no sense to you, and then can you give the pitch that way? Shuffle it again, because what happens is if you're having a conversation, I'll ask you a question and you're like, wait, that's slide 6. I'm only on slide 1. Like I want that answer now. Like I want you to skip around. So
that's a really good point. Yeah.
If you can skip around and shuffle and it still comes out great, you've got it nailed conversationally.
Because you'll find yourself in a room, right, where that's what will happen, especially with people who are smart and get it. Like you were saying, at the
Yeah, just
beginning,
skip. I don't
like
wanna waste time here.
move on.
Yeah.
Like, so I want to ask my questions, and the worst thing that happens to me is like, but wait, that's on slide 9, and I'm like, I'm ready to have the slide stop now. Let's just have the conversation about what it is that you do. Yeah. All right, Ned, who's our next contestant here?
Our next contestant is Party.
Party.
Party. All right.
Wow.
That was last
All right, just before you start, we're still partying, right? Like we're not done with the partying? Okay, I just want to make sure. Go.
Hi, I'm Daria, and I would like to start my pitch with a question to our lovely audience. How many of you like massage?
Could use one now.
Wait, can I respond?
Yeah.
How many of you are out of town?
All of us.
Okay, so you are the clients for our business. What we do is, in a situation like this where you cannot call your favorite massage practitioner, you don't want to probably go on a Craigslist or any other site where you don't know who you're getting. But
there are sites for that too. Go.
So, you're coming to our site, you put in there the maximum price, you put there your goals, you put the date, time, location, where you want the practitioner, and we send that to all the practitioners in the area, licensed, certified, and verified by our website, and they all get the chance to bid on your business. So you
There you go. Time's up. Okay. You made us laugh, which was good, but you didn't get all your points across, but you'll have the opportunity. So your reaction was bold and awesome. Let's hear it.
Well, first, I did the thing I had to, so is it Uber for massage people where they show right up and like I can see them coming to my house? Or is it going to be like TaskRabbit where people are bidding on my project and then like once I've found someone I like to work with, like if I'm going to be there and use them again, I don't use your service anymore, which is the TaskRabbit issue, right? So like, where do you live in that landscape?
It's the TaskRabbit.
Okay.
But that's why we try now to focus actually on people traveling because you need massage all the time. How many days of a year are you traveling actually? So imagine that's
some of us a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Exactly. So,
I've invested in a couple companies that aggregate local service providers. If you'd like, grab me afterwards and we can just chat about it. It's a fascinating opportunity, a fascinating market, but you're also dealing with real physical issues and connecting service providers. You have service providers bidding. Do I really want the masseuse that's willing to take the least amount of money to massage me?
exactly. And that's all it is about.
Which probably speaks to the quality of that masseuse, right? So there's the ideas always sound very grand, and there's really exciting businesses being built in this area, but they are very, very tough because you're dealing with thousands of service providers who are wearing your shirts, but deliver different level qualities of service.
Correct, and that's why the price is actually just the maximum price. Is like, okay, I'm not willing to spend over this, but then from the bids you actually reviewed, the testimonials, who their reputation, and that's what you select. The prices there is not literally, it's not an auction.
Yeah. When you pitch, I wouldn't ask questions to the room. Just get into your pitch. It'll save you 30 seconds.
Or have it quick, like something. The one was fine. The second one you didn't need because we're all here from there.
So.
No, it's good. Hey, listen, that was smart. Any other feedback or comments?
So you're basically a collaborative marketplace for massage?
Yes.
Service?
Yes.
That's really what you're saying you are. Well, then it's not just about travel or anything. It can be anywhere, right? It's not just when I travel.
And it's not just for massage. It's acupuncture, nutrition, Reiki.
Also, you got to.
We go to all the holistic.
Your pitch was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Seriously, you should have come up and said, we're building a LOHAS or a holistic marketplace or whatever it is where you can come and find the right therapist for you. And these folks are all going to be aggregated. They're all going to have their reputation rated, things like that, which was a very different pitch from what you said. So I don't know if you guys had. I would never have guessed that's what you were doing.
I know,
right?
Okay,
cool.
The name Party. I mean, I don't know how.
Party. I'm like,
change the name.
Hey, Ned. 1 second.
This
has come up a couple of times. If the VCs have to spend their time trying to figure out what it is that you do and how you do it, that's not a good sign, right? So you guys have all I'm trying to figure out, are you with this or are you with that?
Yeah.
You've got to be really clear that because again, if that overhead processing, you're just going to bail, right? I'm done if I can't figure it out because there's again, if you're at 9 a.m., there's a 9:45 right after you, and if you get all the way to 9:45, because if you really burn me, I'm done. So just be thoughtful about that, is that you've got to really make sure that you're explaining things in a way that people can understand and they're not spending their time processing, frankly, and not listening to the rest of what you're saying because you're going, I don't understand, and you're trying to put it in that bucket. All right, who's next, Ned?
Next, Huddled.
Who's next? All right, what do we got? Huddle?
Yep.
Huddle, let's go.
What we do data statistics for social media using natural language. So we understand what people are actually tweeting and the context behind it, what they're actually saying on Facebook about products, and we provide those statistics to marketing firms, to Fortune 500 companies, so they know how their social impact is being interpreted by the users, and so that they can make their presence the best for their advertising dollars.
Can I say that's the best pitch I've seen today?
Hey, all right.
That's great.
You got one vote. You didn't get the other three, but who knows? Let's see.
You didn't talk about customer acquisition, but other than that, it was like boom, boom, boom.
We get our customers through a app that we provide for free that actually merges all the social medias, the top 5, into a single app, and we provide that to the users for free. All the users that we've had so far, we launched it 2 days ago on the App Store. Everyone's loved it. We've had a pretty good reception here from South by Southwest.
So users, like who's downloading? Is it agency people? Is it like I'm?
No, it's actually anyone who uses social media. So anyone with a Facebook, a Twitter, a Foursquare, a LinkedIn, they can download it, they use it.
Okay. Any other? You guys?
So it's kind of like what DataSift is doing?
Pardon?
What DataSift is doing?
They do it based on keyword analysis. So if you use the wrong combination of words, say like somebody has a product and it's like, hey, this product is the bomb. People speak like that. They don't use, this product is great, this product is awesome. They use slang, they use colloquial language to describe what they like and how they like it. We actually get the context of, oh, they like that. They're saying it's awesome. Whereas other analysis goes, oh, Bob, that's a bad word. Whatever you're doing is wrong. You really need to stop that. We get the meaning behind it.
But in order for you to win, you need your app downloaded and user consumers to use it. Otherwise, you can't use your technology. Is that right?
From our app, we're able to actually...
So you need your app?
We need our app, but we can extrapolate so much extra data from our app. We can take it 200 times what our app is downloaded.
Why can't you? Why does someone need to? So wait. So I need to put the information out. Like I need to tweet through your app.
Yes.
Okay. So why can't you just scrape?
Yeah.
The reason that you don't really need to tweet through our app. You just need to log into our app and really use it. The reason that you have to go through our app is it allows us to get all the data. It allows us to actually use the data because, like, if you were to just crawl Facebook, crawl Twitter, any profile that's restricted or private, you get nothing. You just see, oh, that's a restricted profile, moving on.
Yeah, but you'd scale more quickly. Even sucking out the restricted profiles, you'd get a lot more data than the folks you actually got to download an app.
Well, we do plan to do that. It's just we're taking we can get this in real time and we can get the past.
Sure. Any other thoughts from you guys? Alex,
I guess thinking about it now, I agree the pitch was really good. I think you've lost me a little bit on the questioning here. You're an enterprise sale at the end of the day, right?
Yes, we are.
But I think part of my issue is that you're now creating an issue of consumer download before you can be an enterprise sale.
So Christine asked the question.
And enterprise instead of just enterprise.
So you asked a really good question about who the user is, and I'm not sure it's the average user, right? It's the power user that's sitting inside one of these places that's out there that's pushing that content, as your first early adopters that are desperate for tools that help them do things, and that's why they're going to TweetDeck or Hootsuite or other types of plans. But what they don't get is the analytics on the back end of that based on
the analytics is for the agencies, it's not for the consumer. So.
I think that's my core. So I think Christine's advice is really, really good. I think you should pay some attention to that because there's not a strong incentive for me to download this app as a consumer, and that's a real problem because where you're going to make your money is on the enterprise, and they have an incentive to get this data, but the consumer you've got some real friction there.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks.
Let's go. All right.
Up next, Tapper.
Tapper, come on up.
I'm going to take a seat. If that's all right.
I like
Scott, I'm going to ask you a question. This is going to be a little bit different, and we'll see how it goes. Do you like to go to the bar? Do you go to the bar?
The bar or any bar?
Any bar.
I've never passed a bar. So
All right.
yes.
Do you like to wait in general for things?
No.
All right, well, I'm Ryan Konachek, co-founder of Tapper Inc., and we are a mobile ordering company that allows you to order your phone while you're at the bar so you don't have to wait. You also get your drink faster. So how do we do this? We install iPads into bars and then install their, put in their drink list, and then people just order through their phone. Let's see here. Our status, we currently have 8 beta locations and 3 contracts. We have revenue and users. And we are currently looking for companies to grow so we can make more money off of transaction costs and growth in general.
Okay, cool. Good job. Where's my beer?
Oh yeah, yesterday you said I had to bring back a beer, and I'm sorry I messed that up.
So it doesn't. Okay, go ahead. All right, here we go. Who wants to go first?
I can go. I said it before, and maybe this is just a pet peeve, but I don't think the questions, a lot of people do tend to do this. I don't think it tends to add to pitches. Just get into your pitch. And then this is something that seems to be really popular in San Francisco right now. A lot of people trying to do this. A lot of my high school buddies haven't gone that far, and they're all bartenders, and every time I call them and ask them about this, and so maybe survey 50 or 100 bartenders, they all seem to hate this idea. They don't like the idea of an iPad, and I don't know why. But
well, it's a capacity issue.
Go ahead, say it.
I mean, it's a if you're going after bars, it's a capacity issue. There are only 2 bartenders behind the bar, so it doesn't matter. It's not about getting the drinks. The wait is because they can only make the drinks as so fast, right? And then take the payments. And there are lots of point of sale systems that are iPad based and tablet based and all of that are out there that are getting at exactly the same issue. Some are going after bars, some are going after restaurants, some are going after quick service. And there are companies like Order Ahead, that are already providing that for takeout and stuff like that. So this is it's a crowded space already, And then again, getting the iPad in, it's not so simple as I'm going to just install iPads. There's a cost to it. Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to walk away with it? How are you going to integrate with the point of sale? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then transaction cost, really?
He's really got it all.
Yeah. I mean, how do you really feel?
All right, it's good.
You guys want to add anything, or are we good? Next. All right, let's go. Tapper.
I've seen enough of them.
So let me just pause for a second here. I know we're getting on time, but you guys have brought up a couple of different times through here sort of the terms crowded space.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll start with you, John. Like, when you talk in those terms, whatever it is, doesn't matter for that pitch, which might not be a strong place for where you think about stuff. But what does that mean to you guys? And I'll start with you, John.
I guess it means a couple things to me. One is I probably have seen 500 pitches like it, so that's probably first and foremost. And you can go through the genres. A couple years ago, I can't tell you how many Groupon-like pitches I saw when Groupon was going crazy. There's been a bunch that, crowdfunding has been very popular, but there's sort of, I don't know if there's waves of this, but you see just tons of people going after it. And then I think the other part to me is, in some cases, I feel like it's just a very incremental change from something that already exists and is not necessarily something where you can differentiate yourself. And so crowded to me can be either that there's way too many people going after it, or that there's just not much competitive advantage that I can see.
Other thing you guys want to add to that definition?
If you're going to enter a crowded market, tell me why that market has changed, that it needs your technology today. We invested in Box, and the noticeable difference, because people have been trying to do cloud storage for a decade, actually wasn't the cost of storage, that was one of them, but it was that suddenly browsers all had JavaScript technology that allowed you to interact with your cloud storage in a fashion that was like your desktop. And that was why that market suddenly blew up, and now we have 10 companies doing really well in that market.
So I have like a really critical insight.
Like something must have changed in the ecosystem for your technology to suddenly adopt if nobody else has adopted to date.
Anything else you want to add?
I mean, I think do your homework. So, come in and say, I'm the only company in the world that's doing this is not true. Believe me, if you're doing it, there are at least 10 others, and I met 2 of them last week. Or I will in the next week. It does happen that way, and it's incredible how the world works. It is that collective thought of the universe, I think, and it all comes together at about the same time. So be knowledgeable about your market and say, yeah, there are competitors. Here are 3 of them, and here's how I'm different from them, right? And going after a crowded market is great. There's a reason why it's crowded, because there's money in that market. But as John said, it is or Alex said, how is it different, right? And how are you going to? Is it a new user experience? Is it a different business model? Is it a new? What is it? It's something that you're going to change and bring new to the party that will change that, and that's why you'll make more money in that crowded space than the rest.
Well, the reason I asked the question was just to also get a working definition, but also it's not necessarily a bad thing to have it be a crowded market as long as you've got a path through it to scoop up a lot of the money that's along that path. So it's not a negative thing. So when you hear that, don't think, well, yeah, of course it is. Like, just you got to figure out how to leverage it. All right, who's next, Ned?
Is Newly.
Newly, come on up. Let's go.
Hi guys, my name is Herron. I'm from Newly, and Newly is doing something very unique to that audience. We're doing micro weather, which means that we predict the exact minute rain starts for every 0.4 square miles. Now, Newly is a very technological or scientific company. We have two of the world's leading scientists in the field, from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem and from UAH, University in Huntsville, Alabama. And it's long years of 30 years of hard work, research, almost a Nobel Prize. Maybe we'll get it.
Wow.
And what we do is basically we connect 2 satellites, 280 radars, and everything in order to predict what a single cloud will do in the next 5, 15, 13, until 60 minutes. Now, the market for this is...
No. Time's up. All right.
Dude, don't waste your time here. Go talk to CNN.com or Weather Channel or weather, whatever, weather.com or any of the big players that are getting, providing weather information. I mean, if you're going to win the Nobel Prize, you really know your stuff. I mean, what are you doing here?
Well,
or put it out there on an app or put it on a website or something. I mean, this is like groundbreaking stuff. You can predict the weather in a micro thing. Yeah. I mean, which is.
Can you tell me if it's snowing on the mountain and how it's snowing?
Tough.
Because I want
to
know.
Yeah, we know. We can. Just to answer your question, the market changed. We used to consume weather through the TV or web, but now we are moving to the mobile and on wearable computing. And a week or hourly weather is irrelevant, or a city-side weather is irrelevant if you are going outside of the building. So it's irrelevant what happened 10 minutes ago. It's relevant what will happen in the next 5-10 minutes. So going through companies like that are focused on the week or hourly is irrelevant, and we're going directly to the vendors like automotive manufacturers, like wearable computings, and like telecoms.
Google, Android, or Apple, just make that.
And we don't need a mediator like the Weather Channel or somebody else like this.
What geographic coverage do you have?
Currently, we're covering the entire continental U.S., about 30 million different locations.
Now, if I start tracking the microclimates by the minute in San Francisco, am I going to be amazed?
Yes.
Okay. Because, we've got like the double
Don't
problem.
you just do that by walking outside?
No, I'm one of those people that checks the hourly weather a couple of times a day. So.
In San Francisco, we have about 600 or 800 different microclimates, like most details.
And they're radically different.
Yes.
Cool. Well, great job.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Up next, the social radio.
Social radio. Come on up, social radio. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Roberto, founder of the Social Radio. We're creating a new way to consume content through audio. We have a mobile app and a web-based app that lets you listen to your tweets, so you don't have to read them. You can listen to your Twitter timeline, your Twitter list, trending topics, or any search, and we mix it with your favorite music. So it's like a radio-like experience where you can listen to your favorite Pandora station, your iPod music, your Spotify, and when a tweet comes up, the music is lowered down, and you listen to the tweets on top of the music. We launched early last year, and now we have more than 50,000 users worldwide, and now we are looking for a new seed round to take the company further.
Awesome. Who wants to go?
So this is integrated with music radio, or this is just I'm listening to it the same way I might listen to my voicemails? Or text messages?
Actually, we are like a social layer on top of the music. So you listen your own music, Apple Music, Pandora, whatever you want to listen to. And when a tweet comes up, the music is lowered down, and you listen to the tweets just on top of the music.
So if you follow a lot of people, it's just going to be down the whole time, like the constant.
Yes,
thing, right?
but you can decide whether to listen your Twitter timeline or a curated Twitter list or a trending topic. We have our own premium content that we are recommending.
Right.
So you decide if you want to listen a lot of tweets or just a few tweets or just a few updates. You can also search your own mentions.
you take inbound text messages as well?
No, we are focused on Twitter right now. Just yesterday, we announced our partnership with Yammer. We are launching Yammer in a few weeks. We are adding Facebook by the end of the next month.
I thought you pitched a product or a feature and not a business.
Okay. So how is this a business?
Our business model is based on audio ads and premium accounts, pretty much like Pandora. The main difference is that Pandora has 50% of the revenue in royalties, and we don't have to pay any because we are a social area on top of that music. And the other business model is bands. It's pretty much like Twitter. They have Twitter accounts promoted and promoted tweets, and what we are doing is we are promoting bands and songs. We have a partnership with Bandpage, and I don't know if you know the startup. They have like 500,000 bands on their user base, and we have thousands of bands that have applied to the social radio to be featured on the social radio. Right now, we are doing that for free because they are helping a lot to spread the word of the product, because every time we feature a band on the social radio, they tell to all the fans that they have been featured on the social radio, check it out. And
Cool.
so that's it.
Anything else? That's good? All right. Nice job, social radio. All right, we got time for one more.
This is our last pitch for today. It's Takes.
Takes. Come on up.
Hi.
He got what it takes.
All right. Can everyone have cheers for me?
Cheers.
Cheers.
You violated Alex's first rule. Go.
Oh, well. Anyway.
It's a demo.
Anyway, we are making a camera. And it's a regular camera. You take snapshot, you save to the camera roll, you can put it, connect to the computer, go to iPhoto. But unlike any other camera, our camera makes the photo start to move. So it's not a slideshow. We don't create a video and the photo candle effect and move. And it's not a video app because you don't take video, you take snapshot. What we actually have is an app that makes your photo start to move. So kids smile, people move, cats jump, everything happening. The way we do it is that we have a patent pending technology that actually captures video all the time. And when you press on the capture, you actually press on the timestamp. This is the moment I want. And now I look at the metadata of the capturing, and I look how the iPhone moves, and I look what's the image, I look where it's oriented. And the algorithm needs to decide what is the best video segment for that photo.
There you
What
go.
are you doing to the battery?
So we do a lot. No, it's a fair question.
That's the question.
Chewing it up.
So we do a lot of stuff to try to, you consume more battery. But we do a lot of stuff to try to mitigate it. So for example, if you don't move the iPhone.
So let me pause you for a moment. So if I have your app on, how long will my phone stay on before the battery dies?
All right. So iPhone allow you to capture 2 hours of video.
Okay.
Usually people take a snapshot. We used to keep those videos for about 1 to 3 seconds. So you can do the manipulation and you get the number.
So
you can get a good feel.
Always on. It's just
No. The whole
when
idea
you're
is
taking
to,
a photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same advice I gave to the previous person. I think you pitched a product or a feature, not a business.
How is this a business? How are you going to make money off of it?
So we launched 2 days ago. Everyone is welcome to download takes.com. And the business, this is one of those dream business. We don't try to get a revenue model tomorrow or next day. We want to be the new camera. We want everyone that use a camera, stop using those boring still images. Use this, you get those images, but you also get in a flip of button this amazing video. And you lose nothing and you gain everything. So we don't look at it as an iPhone app. We're starting as an iPhone app, but we want it in Android. We want it on Nikon. We want it on Kodak. We want every camera. When you think of a camera, it's a tool to capturing a moment and share a moment. And this is the best way to do it. So we're aiming far. And does this answer your question? This is why I'm not talking about business, how I get revenue.
In the follow-up to his question and to my point is, so if you are right, why doesn't everybody else do this?
Well, it's like everything else. No one thought about it.
Any other comments? You got a thought?
Oh, sounds like Instagram for moving pictures, huh? Or
Yeah.
moving stills. But anyway, great job.
Yeah, it's very good. Thanks. There's Takes.